What's in a name?
They really put the name Mary March not to be disrespectful. They really, on a matter of fact, it would not be here if they hadn't done it.
We knew through our workings with the Indigenous communities over the years that the name was problematic.
Even before the petitions, the rooms said they were committed.
The approach was to look at the content first, update the content, work with the Indigenous community, and then look at the name.
Indigenous leaders say a change shouldn't be controversial.
Once they change that name, believe that people will flock to that museum because the name means more than what's there right now.
But one won't be enough. Maybe you need to look across the horizon at Mount Peyton.
I've been talking about this for a couple of years now. And I've talked to the Minister Burns, I've talked to Parks Canada.
It was named in 1820 after John Peyton Jr. The year before, he led a raid up the Exploits River to take a Beothuk person captive. That group captured Demasduit, who was asking for mercy, and it killed her partner, who was trying to rescue her. Peyton was acquitted of murder by a grand jury in 1819. A year later, the governor renamed Mount Peyton in his honor for returning Demasduit's body to Red Indian Lake.
Changing Mount Peyton to something that means more meaningful to the other people, I think is an appropriate thing to do. It's like Mount Peyton is a statue of the Peyton that murdered those other people a long time ago, and it's there as an honor. It's not. It's a symbol of what happened.
And maybe you need to look just out back.
I'm actually looking at a locked-up facility of a replica of a Beothuk village.
For Councillor Barker, the name on the front of this building is only one part of the story. Another part is back here, behind the trees and the fence and the lock and key.
Name change means nothing if we're not going to come in and restore this and open it up.
It's been shut for years. The room says they don't own it.
I have a bit of a funny question for you.
So who does?
So I approached the town of Grand Falls, and they didn't want to take it over. And I approached, like I say, the Cadroy Brook Enhancement Association, and they were just getting off the ground then.
We've asked the town and the province who is responsible for this land. So far, no clear answer.
We had a winter wigwam there, a rock-based wigwam, a smokehouse.
In its day, thousands of visitors, multiple structures in this Beothuk recreation site, even summer students.
This is the summer wigwam.
It's hard to tell now.
In operation for at least 3 years. But then when I moved away from the Exploits Valley Tourism Association, there was another crew took over, and the Beothuk village sort of got put on the back burner, and hence it went into disrepair and well, is in ruination now.
Pelly's taken an interest in archaeology and the history of the Beothuk, but that interest wasn't always shared.
60s and the 70s and probably even up till the early 80s, there was no real emphasis placed on the Beothuk culture. Now, they were doing a bit out there with the Provincial Archaeology Office, but not a whole lot.
So maybe these structures were victims of oversight. As great as it would be, Pelly says it's hard to imagine it coming back to life now.
Well, the only thing about it is what would have to be done now, if you wanted to carry on with it, it would have to be totally rebuilt all over again.
So what should you and I do? Chief Mizel Joe says if we start to truly talk about our history, we can move the ball forward, bit by bit.
Every institution on this island has got some kind of racism in it. I've just seen it in just a few days ago. I've seen it and lived it. The longer we stay quiet and don't say anything or just ignore it, then we have no one to blame.
Garrett Berry, CBC News, Grand Falls, Windsor.